I think now is one of the best times in history to start offering meta ads as a service for new clients. The technology is better than ever before. The assistance you can get from AI tools is better than ever before. And so providing real deep value for clients and brands that you want to service to scale and run their Facebook and Instagram ads has never been easier. Now, who am I? My name is Chris Pecha. I'm the co-founder of Amigo AI. I manage somewhere around $300 million worth of ad spend on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and other ad platforms as a media buyer in an agency, a freelancer, and now I run the world's first AI agent for Facebook and Instagram ads. So in this one single video, I want to take my time and I want to walk you through the process of how to run meta ads for your clients. What do you need to get started? How to get access to all the necessary assets, and then how to onboard the client, become a professional in their niche, and actually set up the campaigns, design the ads, and optimize and report on the Facebook ad successes. So you don't just close new clients, but you also really deliver true value so they stay with you for years to come. The first question is, what do you need to get started? And that is actually quite easy. All you need to do is you need to type in business.facebook.com. This will redirect you to a page that will look something like this. Probably not in German. I'm German, so that's why it's in German. But it looks something like this. It'll ask you to open up or register with your Facebook profile, and then ask you to open up what's called a business manager account. You'll be asked to provide a name. Please there provide the name of your business, right? Because that's the name that'll be visible to your clients once they share access. And then it'll ask you, I think, for a time zone and currency. So there, just choose what's relevant to you. Once you are inside, you'll find a settings icon, probably on the bottom left. What could be is that you are actually not in the business manager, but you're in something that's called the business suite. If it says here on the left-hand side, if it looks a bit different and it says business suite, then you know you're in the business suite. Not a very helpful application yet. So then click on help, and then you'll see here, switch to business manager. And so you can make the switch to business manager. And then I recommend just bookmarking it so you'll find it easy moving forward. Then once you're inside, bottom left, you'll find the settings icon. This is your business settings, and this is where we will manage how you represent your business account to other clients and how to get access to the client's advertising assets. Once inside, navigate into business info and make sure that you just set everything up correctly. Make sure you have a nice photo. Your clients will see that. If that's missing, it's just a bad first impression. Then click on edit right here under business details and provide all the necessary business details. If possible, also try to verify your business manager. This will make it harder for it to get disabled if something goes wrong. Well, and now we can already start thinking about getting the access from your clients, right? So what you'll need for that is head on over into business info, and you need to share this business portfolio ID. And what you'll ask your clients to do is to log into their own business manager, business.facebook.com, head into settings, then head into partner, then click on add top right, give partner access to your assets. Then they have to copy and paste your business ID. Then the client will see a pop-up that looks just like this. They have to choose the Facebook page, provide full access also to leads and revenue. Then they need to go into ad accounts. This is important. A lot of people forget about it, to keep going. They just go Facebook page, okay, done, and move on with the task. Make sure they understand. They also have to go then into ad accounts, choose the ad account, full access. If they have a product catalog, if they are an e-commerce business selling on Shopify or WooCommerce, then also make sure you get that access. Instagram account, select it, provide full access. I recommend to share a step-by-step tutorial with your clients or a screen recording just like this so they know exactly what to do. And then data set, and that's what's called a pixel. Traditionally, you share that pixel. Obviously, you got to make sure that the client has all of these assets set up. Typically, when I offer service as an agency, that I ask the client to set up the business manager and their own ad account and connect their Facebook page and everything. I send them tutorials if they need them, or I jump on an onboarding call to do it together over the onboarding call, because I want them to own the assets. There's way too many agencies out there. They create the ad account and all these assets, and then when the client wants to cancel, they hold the client hostage. And if you can provide the service where you will basically help them set everything up so they are the rightful owners of all these assets, it's just a very friendly way of doing business, in my opinion. So now that this step is done, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. And so the next thing that is important is we need to now go through the onboarding process with the client. You have all the accesses and you can start the work, but now you need to start learning every single aspect about the client and the business. I always say to my media buyers, when I had media buyers, you should know more about the client's business than the client themselves. You should absolutely immerse yourself in the world that is the client's world. I'm a kid from Germany. I went to school for, I think, 8 or 9 years, and I learned English at school, right? 2 hours every 2 or 3 days for years, right? I then moved to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, English speaking environment. I could not speak a single sentence. I looked like an idiot. And then within just 3 months of living there, I became fluent. Why? Because every around me was in English. The people I was talking to, the people that were talking to me, the radio I listened to, the movies I watched, when I ordered my Coke Zero in the supermarkets, everything was English. And so I had to master it incredibly fast. And that's how I think about everything in life. I just completely go. And it's the same when you have a client. And this is where the winners differentiate themselves from the losers. This section right here is where it's at. Everybody is teaching cold calling. Everybody is teaching how to sell someone into your service, but then you need to actually deliver. And the single best way to grow an agency in today's day and age is word of mouth, hands down. So you need to deliver an amazing, exceptional service, and then you will get tons of referral business. People are starving for good work. They are starving for it. There's so many agencies out there. I get that. But the amount of real good agencies is so scarce. You have absolutely no idea. And so if you do this part right, you will win, period. Done with our pep talk. So first things first, onboarding interview. All right. Ask these kinds of questions. Obviously, you can ask way more questions. This is a quick brainstorming. All right. So first, dial in the targeting preferences. Understand their logistical limitations. Oh, you can only sell into the US, right? So you can only sell into the US. Then, all right, then let's just target the United States, right? But there's also performance-driven preferences, right? So, okay, you can sell worldwide or you can sell into all the big 5 countries. Then try to understand with a client, where do we see sales and lead volume momentum, right? So, yes, I can sell everywhere, but at the moment, 90% of my sales are coming from the US. Okay, it probably makes sense to double down on that in the beginning because there's already proven momentum. Maybe find the second best location. If the second thing is good, margin and profitability. So try to understand, where do you get your sales and leads from, and where do you get your most profitable sales and leads from? If you already have an ad account, you can run an analysis and understand what countries have the best return on ad spend and lowest cost per leads. And then obviously the lower spending countries with high return on ad spend, that's your opportunity to provide value fast by diving deeper into those countries. So in the beginning, just ask them and understand where they can logistically service and where they should serve it. And then that will set your targeting preferences. Then understand the product and offer. Understand what products they have, understand what products they sell the most of, their best sellers, and where is your margin. So very often, if you have e-commerce clients in jewelry, fashion, whatever, there are sometimes products that have just fantastic return on ad spend profiles because they are evening dresses or engagement rings, right? And they have higher margins, but you see them selling the basic white t-shirts all the time because they are the lower priced items. And so that's where they get a lot of volume. And so they keep on advertising that product, right? And so if you now can come in and you put the evening dresses out there with way higher margins, you can prove some real value. So do that digging, do that research, and understand with a client these kinds of opportunities. Understand budget limitations. What is your monthly budget limitation? Here you have a phenomena that's called unlimited budgets, and that is based on the performance goals. So if, let's say, you have a profit margin of 50%, and you have to Google this. There's no way that I can explain all of this in this video. But you have a profit margin, right? So let's say you sell your t-shirts, 50% goes away for shipping, buying the products, producing the products, warehousing them, all that kind of stuff, right? And so if you sell a $10 product, you get to keep $5. The other $5 goes away for all the costs of goods sold, COGS, right? And then you break even, right? You spend $5, you make a $10 sale, $10 goes away for the product, $5 went away for the advertising. So that already tells you that your return on ad spend, your ROI goal has to be 2 or higher. That's your break even point, right? Now, what some businesses can do is, as long as you're above that break even return on ad spend, you're profitable for them. the ads are profitable for them. And so you can just reinvest that advertising spend without burning cash for the business. And so that's when you sometimes get this unlimited budget order. So as long as you can keep me above a 2.5, I'm profitable and you can scale. Right? Discuss that with the clients, understand that probably in the beginning, it's always good to set a fixed monthly budget and then have that communication with the client whenever you want to increase the budget. So there's no nasty surprises for them, right? Because there's something called cash conversion cycle. If you make a sale today, how long does it take for that money to actually be in the bank account? That is sometimes longer than people. And so then they get screwed in terms of cash and then they can't make the payments and stuff like that. But this is a whole world. But dial that in. Know at least, right? Know what's the return on ad spend target and the budget limit. If they are in a lead generation space, try to understand the conversion rates from website visitor to converted lead and from converted lead to paying customer. And then that'll tell you what's the cost per lead target if you take that against the revenue that the average customer generates. So on average, every 10th lead converts and they pay, I don't know, $5,000, then you know what's the cost per lead that you can afford to pay. Good. And then the creative and messaging guidelines, collect the do's and don'ts, especially in real estate, legal, finance. There's a lot of disclaimers that you have to respect, and you got to make sure that those disclaimers are in the ad copies and in the creatives, or understand also what are some do's and don'ts from a branding perspective. Don't say cheap, say this, or these kinds of things. And then try to understand their aspirations. Your job is to make their dreams come true. Sounds cheesy, but that's what it is, right? So you want to sell a prestigious feeling. And every person out there has a brand, has creatives, has content that they aspire to, that they love to watch themselves, that they admire. Try to get that out of them and try to then model your ad creatives and your content that you produce to that. If someone loves Gucci and Gucci as a brand and they are in a luxury fashion space, you probably shouldn't write ad copies with a bunch of emojis, because that's really what Gucci does, right? And that's where a lot of disconnects come from. They have a vision and aspiration in their brain, and you got to make sure you map that. Now, I've probably managed somewhere around 300 million, and this is just some napkin math, right? Around $300 million in ad spend throughout my career running ads for businesses. And when folks ask me, because some of these clients, I work with them for years, and what is my key differentiator? What was the one thing that I think I did better than anyone else? It's not even how I run the ad account. It's one thing, and it is this. And it's my obsession to integrate into the client's culture and organization. When they hired me as a freelancer, or back then when I was part of an agency, they hired an employee. Maybe didn't interview me like one, but I treated myself or carried myself like an employee of their organization. I became part of their family, which then helped me to do a much better job because I was totally integrated and I was able to offer a smooth and flawless experience for them as well. So the very first thing I did is I tried to join all their communication channels. How do they communicate? Let me naturally integrate into that. You don't have to set up a Slack channel or a Slack account just so you fit into my way of communicating. You communicate on WhatsApp or Telegram, no issues. I'll join you guys' channels. That's the way I always approached it. I was not thinking about scalability. I was thinking about retention. How can I retain my clients and make them happy? Because the number one way to grow, again, is word of mouth and referrals. And so I naturally integrated with their communication channels. Your client has an important marketing meeting every single week. Ask to join. They might talk about sensitive company internal information, but maybe you can offer to join at the beginning and then jump out. So that is number one. Then follow all their social media pages, the business social media pages, their Instagram, their Facebook, their Pinterest, every single thing. Learn their style, learn what products they focus on, learn how they talk and communicate and what value propositions they focus on. So when you design ads, it'll look like what they would design, but just a little better and a bit more conversion rate optimized, right? And then sign up for the email newsletter if they have one, right? Just try to join their ecosystem and then connect with every single one of the employees. If it's 1,000-man strong team, obviously not, but then just colleagues in your team, the marketing team, and maybe the leadership team, because they will talk about their job. They'll talk about what's happening in the organization, how they think about things, and you will get some important information that, again, will help you better integrate into their culture and organization. Then become a niche savant. I'm seriously dyslexic and I try my best. podcast, but I might have some nonsense in here. But yeah, so find all of their competitors, right? This is nowadays, this is easy work, 5 minutes. Just fire up ChatGPT or fire up Adamigo AI and ask it, hey, find me, research this business, copy and paste the link, find all the competitors, list, give a short summary, show me their unique value propositions, show me their strengths and weaknesses compared to my client's business, give me reviews on the positive and on the negative side, and then it just lists everything up. And so now you can, number one, find them, so you can follow all of their social media pages, newsletters, and you can learn about communication gaps, opportunities in the sense where a certain competitor is addressing a messaging angle or a persona or a pain point that your client has never tried addressing before. And so then that could be a material for fantastic new high converting ads because they just never really tapped into this one opportunity. And then obviously research the Facebook ads library. So you can go into what's called Facebook ads library. You can search by country, all ads, and then find the Facebook pages and see what kind of ads they're running. This is now for Adamigo AI, our business, and you can see the ad copies, the value propositions they focus on. Is it more images or video content? What does the video content consist of? What are some hooks that they use in the beginning of the ad copies? And could I use them as well? Now, once you've done all that research and all that prep work, this part, designing the ads, although it's the annoying work, will be fun and easy and so lighthearted, and you will come up with super cool ideas that you yourself will get excited about testing in the ad account and see how it will perform. And that's when your job becomes like a real passion. So the first thing you should do is you should list all marketing personas. In our case, Adamigo AI, just take us as an example here. A marketing persona could be an agency owner. It could be the media buyers in the agency, not just the owners. It could be freelancers who run ad accounts for businesses. It could be brand owners, affiliates, lead generation business. You get the point, right? Local businesses, restaurants, whatever. So those could all be personas that we can target, and you should list all of them for your client. The next thing you should do is you should come up with messaging angles, value propositions that fit to each and every one of those personas. So in this case, for example, for agency owners, a messaging angle for Adamigo could be manage 3 to 5 times as many clients with the same manpower by automating using this AI agent, right? Automating your Facebook ads using this AI agent, or reduce human error by, letting the ads be optimized by an AI agent and make yourself unfireable therefore, right? So there's all these different messaging angles we could use for these different personas, and then try to aim at designing ads. Try to have a healthy mix, try to have images, try to have videos, try to have carousel ads maybe even, because some people engage more with image content on Facebook and Instagram. Others engage more with video content. I once heard that when your Wi-Fi connection is weak, you get more image content because that is easier to buffer. Don't know if that's still true, but I thought that was kind of cool. So you just have to maximize the kinds of creative formats you run so you can reach more people in the target audiences and increase your chances of reaching profitable audiences. Obviously, you can use Adamigo for all of this work, right? You can use Adamigo for the research and then also for the designing. And you can see here, you cannot tell me that you would be able to see that this is AI. Our ads are highly photorealistic and indistinguishable from professional photo shoots. The good thing is also with Adamigo, we automatically pull all the content from the Facebook and Instagram page and previous ads, if there were any, mapped against the performance data. And so if you just write like, hey, design an ad, it'll design an ad that will already naturally integrate into the style and the taste the client has. And so you can design these stunning ads with our AI agent. Now, one more thing that I just have to share. If your client is an e-commerce client and they sell products that you understand visually, right? Jewelry, fashion, interior design items, so chandeliers. I had a beautiful chandelier client for a long time. They were crushing it. So furniture, right? Gardening stuff, dynamic product catalog ads, short DPA, dynamic product ads, are hands down and almost without exception the best performing ads. They take some time because there's learning that needs to happen from the AI to understand what products in the product catalog work the best. But you have to do some research. Make sure the client sets up a product catalog on Facebook. Make sure you get access to that and then launch dynamic product ads. This might be the only ad you will ever need. It shouldn't be, but it probably will be at some point because they just do so well. And then write 2 to 3 dedicated ad copies and headlines for every ad creative that you design. Make sure that when you first launched, you have something like 7 to 10 ads, bare minimum, because your client will deny some of them. And nowadays, it's hard to overwhelm the algorithms with too much content. They're so good at figuring out what ads have good performance and then put the budgets behind that. So you can launch with 10 ads right from the get go, even with very small budgets. It even increases your chances of having an ad that is more likely to resonate. And it's often not the one you thought it will be. And then write 2 to 3 dedicated ad copies and headlines for those ad creatives, because nowadays you can launch them one image with like 3 ad copies, and then the AI will figure out which one to use for which audience. And then send this all over to the client. I would honestly just put it into a presentation, have the creative, and then on the right have the ad copy and the headline, and below have a box for feedback. And so people can just feedback it. And once approved, you can start the launching part. Now for the launching, just high level. Number one, always go for sales or lead objectives. If you have a client that wants product sales, go for a sales objective. If you have a client that wants leads, go for the lead objective. Don't even waste your time and your client's money running traffic or awareness or any of these reach campaigns or whatever, optimizing for ads to cart. I understand there's the whole thing with learning phase. It's just not real. I can make a whole video on this. This video is already way too long. Go right away for the sales and purchase. If you want me to make a video on why, let me know in the comments below. Then aim to have 2 to 3 different audiences. Have an Advantage Plus / broad targeting. Have a lookalike audience on a lower funnel event, so purchases or ads to cart or leads. If you have enough pixel event, you need minimum 100. Aim to have minimum like 300-400, so there's enough there. And then have 1 or 2 interest targeting ad sets. So if you sell luxury fashion, try to target Gucci, Fendi, Prada, target Vogue magazine and other fashion magazines, stuff like that. Then use ad set level budgets in the beginning, so you have more control over what money you put into each ad set. And then launch all ad sets, launch all ads that you designed into all of the ad sets. Don't try to split it up or anything. It's totally fine if you have 10, 15 ads inside of an ad set. Now, I can make a whole video on how to actually set up the campaign from a technical standpoint. Obviously, we at Adamigo AI, we have an AI just do it for you. So when you go into Adamigo, you go into workflows, build your full funnel campaign strategy, activate workflow, and then the AI already from the onboarding knows what are the performance targets for this client, right? In this case, it's return on ad spend of 2.5. Yes, that's it. And then the agent will basically interview you to confirm everything. Go for like 500 budget, please. And then it will go into the process of actually launching everything into the account for you, even if you have no experience, and it's incredibly fast. So the next thing is optimizing your client's ad account like a geek. You should be obsessed with it. The very first rule that I told my media buyers is to be in the ad account every single day. Even if there's nothing really to do, because it's a small spending account or you just did a whole lot of optimizations yesterday evening, still spend 30 minutes, go through everything, browse through everything, because every single time I go into an ad account, I find something that needs to be done. A comment underneath one of the ads, or I don't know, the budget that should be adjusted somewhere, or an ad that is crushing it in one audience could also run in another audience that is not doing so well recently. Or I see a new trend of a new ad performing super well, so that brings me to an idea of a new ad that I could design. You will never go into an ad account, spend some time, and not have like an idea to optimize the account. So if you don't know what to do, just go into the ad account and be there every single day. And ad accounts that spend more than, let's say, 10 grand a month, they need you to be there every single day. Then give new ad sets and campaigns 3 to 5 days bare minimum to just spend and build some momentum. Although I would make that contingent on how profitable is the account overall. If the entire ad account is burning money, be more strict, 3 to 5 days. If the entire account is very profitable, give it more time, give it 7, 10 days even, right? To just build momentum before you judge it, if to pause it or stuff like that. And give it 2 to 3 times cost per result and spend. So cost per purchase or cost per lead target. If your cost per lead target is, let's say, 20, give it 60, give it $80 and spend before you judge it if it's successful or not. Then don't be afraid to actually optimize the account. Go in there, change the budgets if something doesn't work well. Increase the budgets if something works incredibly well. I'm not that much of a fan of just 20% increases and reduces. I believe more in scaling by cost per purchase or cost per lead. So if you spend on average, let's say $30 to get a purchase, and you now have an audience on 15, I would scale it to 30, then I would scale it from 30 to 60. So with every budget increase, I give it a fair chance to generate an additional sale that day. So that'll just increase my cost per purchase, And then find your best performing ads every week or every 2 weeks and come up with iterations on it. Oh, this video or this image ad does super well. Let's create different versions of it with different background colors, with different text, different angle of your product, different model, right? Stuff like that. You can, again, ask Adamigo for that, right? You can upload your best performing ad, or you can ask it to find your best performing ad and then ask it like, hey, can you create 3 different versions of it or different iterations of it? Share it with a client, or even like launch it with just one text message into the ad account. It's that easy, right? Nowadays with AI, that's what it is. Now, regarding the optimization, again, I can make whole videos on how to actually go about that. But my recommendation, obviously being super biased about what we've built here, just activate AI Actions. AI Actions is an AI action agent. You set up your performance goals in an onboarding form, and then it will optimize the ad account every single day. It'll tell you what it wants to do, why it wants to do it, and what performance impact it expects will it have on the ad account. Then you click on apply, and the AI implements that change for you in the ad account. It'll be implemented actually using your name. So theoretically, your client won't even know that you're using Adamigo, right? And you can see here that this audience, I'm preventing 230 in daily spend that has 0 return on ad spend. So imagine that every morning I wake up and I send my client, hey, look, I paused this, I increased budgets here, and here's the expected performance impact that I think all of these changes will have. They will think you're just an absolute rock star. If you have more questions about any of these recommendations, you click on ask and you ask the AI to further elaborate. And so you can have these conversations and also learn how to become a better media buyer. The very last thing, very long video. I hope it was valuable. And I could record so many more videos deep diving into some of these topics. So the very last thing is send your clients reports. I always told my media buyers, you have to be the pacemaker. It cannot be that the client learns they have to tell you something so it gets done, because you train them, right? And if they have to tell you, can you please optimize the budgets here? I see it's spending too much. Or look, I haven't seen any new ads over the last 2 weeks. I think we should go ahead and do that, no? Oh, I get a lot of traffic from a certain country that doesn't do so well. What do you think about that? It cannot happen. Honestly, it can't happen, because then they lose trust. Every single time they send you a message like that, it's trust broken. That is so hard to regain, and they will become more and more noisy, and you will get more and more frustrated, because it could be that you do a great job, but you will feel like they don't think so, and so you get frustrated. It's terrible. You have to be the guy who every week, hey, here's the performance report. Here's what we've achieved so far this week. Here's what I'll do next week. Here are the opportunities and trends I see, right? And then every week or so, you should come up with some new idea, some innovative idea on the media buying side and how you operate that account, and also in terms of what products you advertise, the landing pages you want to test. You need to be the driving force. Depending on how interactive the client is, they might not jump on some of these things, but it doesn't matter. You need to be the driving force. They cannot be the driving force, because that's what they hired you to do, right? So one thing you can do is with Adamigo, you can just go into the chat agent and ask it, give me a performance breakdown of the last 7 days. It tells you exactly the performance for this client, in this case 2.6 ROAS, 9 purchases. Here you can see the spend. It shares top campaigns with performance breakdown. It shares top ad sets or audiences with performance breakdowns, shares top ads with performance breakdown, all of the good stuff, key insights, recommended next steps. And at the end, you even have ad previews. So make a big screenshot of that, copy and paste it, and send it to the client Slack, and you can send them these beautiful reports that just take you a couple of seconds every day. So this was a super long video, and if you're still watching, you are an absolute legend. I have to say, you're an absolute legend. Everyone is watching videos and courses on how to cold call and win new clients. The real professionals obsess over delivering great experiences and great service and great results for their clients, and they will then grow through word of mouth. And all these cold callers, they are slowly dying. It's getting harder and harder. True quality is what distinguishes you nowadays. So I hope this video was super helpful. There's obviously so much more we can do to show you in more detail how to launch campaigns and audiences, and how I design ads and come up with that. So if you have any questions or want more videos, please let me know. I would love it if you could leave a subscribe and a thumbs up. And thanks so much for watching, really. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.